Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I can't believe I'm making this video today, considering only just yesterday I've published the video, guys, where we talked about the pensions and my future plans of putting some money away into the savings so we've got something to retire on. And unfortunately, things in life just change or can change just like that. So unfortunately for me, that was exactly that, and it kind of poo-pooed my plans. It's a very uncertain and sad time for me, unfortunately. But for anybody who knows, and I said to you before, I've been running my own company for the past 12 years. And unfortunately, like many during the COVID times, things obviously were going downhill and we couldn't really properly recover. Although at the time, as there was offer to take a bounce back loans for the company, which we did at the time, thinking other things will pick up and get better. Although in the short term they did, but obviously still the economic downturn and people spending, it just never really took off in the same direction how it was originally. And although I said I was making the plans to do obviously the savings and planning for the future, because I still know the company was going downhill, but at least I thought I had about a year before I was thinking of obviously doing something with the company. But unfortunately, I had to have a very unpleasant conversation with my accountant yesterday with regards to the company, and basically in a position now that the company has to go. So the company have to go in liquidation, and basically there are two ways of doing this. It's either voluntary liquidation or involuntary liquidation. And obviously that all goes on the basis of that the company owes money to the bounce back loan that we are no longer able to repay, although we're repaying this now as it goes along. But as I understood by the accountant, because we're in a position where the company is not getting better, there will be a time where we literally run out of money and won't be able to pay the bounce back loan, whether that puts myself as a director in a position of basically something to do with the liability, because I haven't acted in the best interest of the creditors, in fact obviously the bank with the bounce back loan, and that could potentially I be liable for whatever that might be. So basically the idea is the liquidating the company. If I do this through the voluntary liquidation, that means I have to employ a liquidation company who charge rather hefty sum of money to basically go through the whole process. And we're talking up in the end of £7,000 plus VAT. So what happens then? Those companies take over the assets, the stocks, and they deal with companies on your behalf, although you still have to report to them and give them a lot of information. If we're going with the forced liquidation, that means I just run out of money and stop paying the bank, and then it's going to be going through the courts, where bank then still employ a liquidation company that will be then still dealing with my assets. And basically the thing is, and the scary part is, the information they require and the investigations they go into apparently are horrendous. See, my thought would be, if I were to employ a liquidation company, they'll be working in my favor because I'm the one that's paying them. But apparently this is not the case. Apparently any liquidation company is in their best interest is to make sure that they get the most amount of money to obviously the bank or whoever is owed money. And the whole thing with either of those cases, it's a very, very lengthy process, and we are talking it could take the best part of a year. And this is with then me dealing with supplying them paperwork, the information. And the trouble is as well with those investigations, they obviously look at me as a director, they look on all the company's wrongdoing. Not that I have anything to hide, but if you know that the companies out there trying to get you for the more money, then I don't know how what's going to be happening. So the difference between the voluntary liquidation and the compulsory liquidation is basically how deep up your arsehole they're going to go and check what basically you have or you haven't done. And apparently, if I go through the courts, this is going to be one of the toughest ones, where they do look at you and judge you a bit more, basically. So now in a position where I don't really know what to do. I don't really feel I want to put myself and the family through a year worth of uncertainty, because if there's something they found out that they didn't like, or they could find they didn't like, then I'll be liable myself for the loan that the company owes. And the other part as well, the obviously that deems me then a bankrupt, as basically blacklisted, as just generally as a person myself. So no future business openings, no future bank accounts, stuff like that, which is pretty shitty. And just leaves us to the last option, is if personally I would to pay off the loan, the company loan. So basically means I have to cease trading and pretty much take everything I have and pay it. This is where that brings me to, means basically I have to clear every single bit of savings, cryptocurrencies, everything, just to pay it off. But then that leaves me, then I can pay it off, I can close the company safely without owing anybody any more money, and my name's cleared. I don't have to worry about the anything else of that kind of matter, and it could be closed within basically 2 to 3 months, which sounds rather appealing right now. So the point is, when we talked about the pension and stuff, and I said to you guys, obviously nobody knows what life holds, and hey presto, just like that, I'm now in a position from going from, wanting to save and able to save some money to go towards my retirement. Now I have to clear every single penny that I ever saved, and just to make sure that I don't have to lose a sleep over the next year if I were to go through the liquidation process. So that's really that. I just wanted to talk to you guys because, well, just wanted to talk about it, and just to make you aware that basically the point, however well we can plan or what we want to achieve, it's not always possible, because it always seems to be there's going to be something there in a way to get in a way. So there we are. Anyway, thank you for watching.